Now, everybody, it's Republican senators who are wanting to pass a bill to prevent Social Security from being increased. Senators like Bill Cassidy are worried that the White House will let him do this, and now Senator Cassidy is meeting with other lawmakers to improve his current plan on protecting Social Security benefits. If passed, Social Security's insolvency program would be solved, and benefits might be increased again. Now, some GOP senators are trying to lead an effort in Congress to protect Social Security, commonly referred to as the third rail of American politics. And Senator Bill Cassidy has told reporters that he's trying to prevent benefits from being cut as the program goes insolvent. Both the president and the former president are campaigning to protect Social Security, but not offering much of anything on how they plan to do it. Cassidy said that a cut in benefits could cause poverty among the elderly to nearly double. If Washington does nothing in about a decade, Social Security will start to run out of money. It's funded by workers' taxes and any surpluses or interest earnings in the trust fund. The program cannot borrow money on its behalf. So the only option once existing funds are exhausted would be a nearly 25% cut for all recipients on Social Security. It's not a win for anybody. It's unlikely Washington will let it get to that point, but Social Security is popular and economically crucial for most Americans. But few in positions of power are trying to actually come up with a fix to actually prevent it from happening. About 2 years ago, this bill already was created. The Senator Bill Cassidy said, it occurred to me that we could address this by creating an investment fund. It would prevent a 24% decrease in benefits. Now, some independent senators like Angus King are already caucusing with Democrats to begin their pitch on this big idea to save Social Security. The pitch goes to prevent and invest $500 billion over 5 years in one of the independent investment funds separate from Social Security. Now, the government actually have to borrow money to pay for scheduled benefits, and the fund will be managed independently for Congress, with the intention of preventing future political interference. Now, Cassidy concedes his plan only partially solves the solvency program. It does not address the tougher questions about raising taxes or the retirement age, but he said at a minimum, it would not raise taxes on seniors or affect anyone close to retirement. Cassidy and his staff have been working with other lawmakers to get feedback and make changes as they go. There was a short window where Cassidy thought Biden might engage on Social Security after the midterms, but so far Joe Biden hasn't done anything to announce his plan to help Social Security beneficiaries. But back in April, more than 66 million people took home a benefit check from Social Security. Now, 50 million of which were retired workers. Among these retirees, close to 90% rely on a monthly payout to cover some portion of their monthly expenses. Whether you're already retired or have just earned the workforce, surveys consistently show that most Americans will lean on their Social Security payout in some capacity during the golden years. In other words, maximizing what you'll receive from the Social Security program is important. All told, more than half a dozen elements can impact what you bring home monthly or to keep from the benefit checks. As an example, Social Security benefits became taxable above certain income thresholds. Additionally, a dozen states tax and Social Security payouts to some varying degree. But so far, when whittled down to the basics, 4 components are ultimately responsible for determining Social Security. It's your work history and, of course, your retirement age. Folks, we got 10 news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SDI. Now, there's a ton of information that you guys definitely want to know about this. Continue watching. We have a lot of information about it.
We also know across our country, folks face barriers that have been built up over the years by corporate interests and anti-union politicians and regressive court cases. I fought many of those cases when I was Attorney General of California, so we know the obstacles are there. California's in the house.
Yet the latest round of tax cuts comes as the economy is showing signs of stress, raising questions about timing. Even policy analysts told reporters times are good now, but if there's a downturn, what is the response? Will it be cutting spending or education? And if it's raising taxes, who will be impacted by this? Folks, the current proposals for taxes range from small reductions in state income tax rates to getting rid of the individual income tax altogether. Other states are examining more targeted measures, like exempting more retirement income from taxation, and it's a move that would benefit older residents, but potentially take away a revenue that could be used for younger families. Some of these proposals are simply ideas, followed by lawmakers and governors that may face a long path to becoming law. In some states, the tax plans are further along, such as in North Dakota, where lawmakers are weighing a bill that would eliminate the individual income tax for single filers making $44,000 or less, and for married filers making $75,000 or less. Other states are focusing their tax cuts on specific groups, such as 10 states that last year created or expanded a child tax credit or earned income tax credit. It's geared toward low-income families. Even the Republican Senator Mitt Romney wants to increase the federal child tax credit payment to $3,000 for people between 6 and 17 years old, and $4,200 for children under 6. The proposal will cut other tax credits to pay for the expansion, including those for child health care costs. Both plans would offer parents the ability to receive the credit as a monthly payment, and Senator Marco Rubio's proposal would pay parents $3,600 for children 6 to 17, and $4,500 for children under 6, but it would not offer a monthly payment option. Vermont also took matters into their own hands after Congress failed to extend the expanded tax credits, and the Republican governor signed off on a $1,000 child tax credit for every child 5 and under. Families who claimed the credits would lose $20 for every $1,000 over the $125,000 they earn. Some states this year are focusing on older residents with tax reductions for retirement income, like Vermont, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. The Arkansas governor, a Republican, is also pledging to eliminate the state's individual income tax, although she said she will start with tax. And according to local news, Governor Polis, a Democrat, is pushing for $200 million in property tax relief this year. It comes after voters last fall approved a cut that reduced the state's flat income from 4.4 to, and even Idaho, which last year lowered its personal and corporate tax rate and created tax rebate of $300, wants to provide. March 31st is an upcoming deadline that all eligible Americans need to take in action in order to receive an extra relief check. In the dozens of states across the country, and the amount of your rent rebate depends on your half income. Half Social Security income cannot be excluded from the calculation. For example, if you receive $20,000 of Social Security, you may only count $10,000 as your income to qualify for the rent rebate. Folks, renters with an annual income of $8,000 or less will receive a rent rebate of $650. So hopefully this can help people out within the stimulus cash. There are billions of dollars in unclaimed money available. Checks are being distributed in varying ways, amounting from 50 to even 10,000 grand. And now, 1 in 7 Americans qualify right now for some extra money. And now, according to Yahoo News, billions of dollars of unclaimed property is being held by state governments for safekeeping, just waiting for Americans to reclaim what's rightfully theirs. And like a giant lost and found, state treasuries look for financial assets, including missed paychecks and utility refunds they've abandoned or forgotten by their owners. Now, often people don't realize that they have unclaimed property but Oregon Treasurer Tobias Reed has announced the agency's plan to return approximately $10 million in unclaimed funds as part of the Checks Without Claims initiative. The effort will be the largest mass disbursement of funds by Oregon's unclaimed property program to date. Checks distributed will vary in varying amounts from $50,000 to $10,000. And the New York State Comptroller's Office is also currently holding $18 billion in everyday people's lost money, and it returns $1.5 million to people who file claims daily. And a lot of people are missing out on lots of claim filings. There are over $7 billion